Mr. Director, worry not, we'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon-to-be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Reed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director. As you're well aware, Doge.
Guys, I love Kennedy. You know, I just love how he asks his question and his sense of humor. You know, he's asking for something and you're saying he's going to get it in the nearest future, and he's asking you back, is it before I die? Like, kind of, I love his sense of humor. And for the director, FBI director, Kash, the way he answered the question, he is trying to make sure he give out information or saving his ass. You know, he don't want anything to get back at him. So he's trying to push everything away, especially when you ask him a question and he does not have, let's say, he does not know what to tell you. He finds a way to push it away and try to make himself free. But, you know, I love Senator John Kennedy. Like, I love his approach. Ever since I've been watching this video, I just love how prepared he is whenever he's coming on Senate. You know, whenever he's asking questions, he throw the necessary question. You know, he asks the necessary question, and he, even if he knows the answer, he still try to act like a little baby so that you would enlighten him. You understand? He don't want to put words into your mouth. He's trying to let you, you know, spit out what you know. I think that is how politicians behave, because I've seen so many, like, I've seen similar tactic, you know, in my country, whereby they already know what to ask you, but they try not to say it the way they know it. They want you to explain to them, because that is your field. You know, as an FBI agent, you have so many, you know, information that is not known to the public. So, or that are also known to the public, but he don't want to say, I know this is this. He's trying to say, okay, since you are in charge of that field, I'm going to ask you the question, then you give me the answer. So that, I don't know if you get me. This is a beautiful section, you know, and based on the question he was asking, what's it called, Kash, about the settlement and all, you know, I feel if you go against, or you try to prevent someone from winning an election, there's supposed to be sanction. You understand? You don't, like, manipulate an election and expect to go scot-free. So I don't know why they decide to settle outside court or whatever. But I feel like if there is proof that these two people are involved, you know, they need to be dismissed. And that is the truth. I don't know how they get their information, because for you to get someone mail, and I don't know if that is legal, you know. I feel there are certain things that are supposed to be private, you understand, especially my mail, my WhatsApp chat, and several things. Like, you don't just invade my privacy. But if the deed has been done, you understand, they already have proof that you did something. I feel you don't have to settle outside court. You have to, it's right to sack, you know, the guy. And also the lady, since she decided to, what is it called? Was it retire? No. Since she decided to quit, so be it. You know, I don't know why they decided to settle them. Well, I know for them to be able to pay such a huge amount of money, then the people, the guy that was being sacked and the lady that resigned had proof to nail them. That was why they decided to settle. But I feel it might be due to how they got the information. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If it's the first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and remain blessed.